Hello, my name is Jan Seides, and I'm here to play you some music. So pull up your blankie and a nice cup of hot something, because I know that's going to feel good, and I'm going to play you some songs. Today I cast away my crutches, 'cause the truth is I don't need them anymore. And though I had some doubt, still I shouted hallelujah. And I won't care, I'm no Fred Astaire when I'm out there on the floor. I got a choice, I got a chance, I gotta dance. Today I boxed up my excuses with other useless things, took them down to the Goodwill store, and I put take a risk the top of my list of things to do, yeah. And if I've never, ever done that step before, if I got a choice and I got a chance, I gotta dance. Ooh, it feels so good, rocking out in the real world like that scaredy cat me never would. Today I broke down some walls and installed a couple windows and a door, and I can smell that honeysuckle as I buckle on my shoes, yeah. And I won't be listening if you're dismissing my dreams anymore. I got a choice and I got a chance, I gotta dance. Well, I got a choice and I got a chance, so I'm gonna dance. So, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm here in Austin, Texas, where you would think that it would be nice and toasty warm outside. In fact, when I left New York City and I told people I was coming here, they all told me, oh, well, you should give away your winter coat and your sweaters because you won't need those in Texas. Well, today it's 29 degrees in my wonderful winter coat. I think of it occasionally, like today. It stayed in New York, and it meant the first winter I was here, it snowed here for the first time in 17 years. So imagine my surprise. I'm going to do kind of a new one for you, and it was based on something somebody told me a long time ago about you don't always have to make your decision like this or that. There's stuff, and that's what this song is about. It's not just the day or night, not just the left or right. It's not just the black or the white. There's lots to like in the middle. It's more than the dark or fair, more than the here or there. It's more than the truth or the dare. When you're there in the middle, we all see the pendulum swing, one side or the other. Nobody seems to notice the stream of so much going on in between. Do do do, doodly doo doo doo, doo 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 doodly doo. It's me and you in the middle. Well, baby, you and I have been together. We've weathered every blow. People always talking about the falling in love. Been there, done that, and still got each other. So we'll savor the highs and lows, explore the twos and fros. Well, it's the ride no matter where it goes. Life's a road and a riddle. Take your time, enjoy the journey. There's lots to learn in the middle. So yeah, that's something I learned. It's always interesting to talk to people who have no connection to the world you're usually in, because they almost always have some jewel for you, and that was one of those. One of the things I really like doing is writing from prompts, because it forces you out of that comfort zone. And I'm going to retune just a little bit, because this particular occasion, I was doing a what we like to call 14 songs in 14 days, or torture. I was doing that with a bunch of other people, or so I thought, and it was about the 10th, maybe 11th time that we'd done it. And about halfway through it, I should tell you the game plan. You don't get prompts. You just have to come up with something on your own. And you have to have it up online so that other people can hear it by midnight. So around 11:45, the first time that we did this, around 11:45, you'd start getting concerned emails and phone calls like, "Where's your song?" But by this time, it was much more loose. So about the middle of the effort, beginning of the second week, there was one other person and we were the only two, we realized, that were still doing it. So we started giving each other prompts. And the prompt she gave me was "This Old Red Dress." And I wrote this song, and after it was all done, I realized I actually know these people, because I like to write stories about just things I think should have happened. And this was one of those, until I got to the end of it, and I thought, I've met these people. There's a place here in Austin called Don's Depot, and lots of my friends play there, and we go there pretty often. And there was a couple that came very often, and it didn't really matter who was on stage, because when they got out on the dance floor, they drew all the focus. They did that Western swing thing, and it was, or I think that's what it's called, but it looks like they're floating above the floor, and they were a treat to watch. And this song, it turned out, is about them. This old red dress, it used to go dancing, Harold and I would step out on the floor. People would smile when they saw us coming. I miss dancing, but I miss Harold more. This old red dress, once it was new, and I loved the way it belled out when we twirled. Satin and sequins and crinolines too. Red shoes to match, one string of pearls. I would give anything for one more dance with Harold and me swept up in the romance. He was my prince and I was his princess when I danced with Harold in this old red dress. I've tried dancing with others, don't get me wrong, gave each one a chance, but none were as good. That's how it's been since Harold's been gone. Found none like him, didn't think that I would. I would give anything for one more dance with Harold and me swept up in the romance. He was my prince and I was his princess when I danced with Harold in this old red dress. Sooner or later I'll find him again, whenever I'm finally laid to my rest. I already know what I'll be wearing then. I'll go to my Harold in this old red dress, 'cause I would give anything for one more dance with Harold and me swept up in the romance. He was my prince and I was his princess when I danced with Harold in this old red dress. He was my prince and I was his princess when I danced with Harold in this old red dress. So that was what I did with that prompt. And Jim and Linda Cannon, well, Jim is gone now, so that was one of the reasons that I thought, I know these people. My most recent project, which is it's here behind me. It's called Unsung, and it's stories from the Bible that you didn't get to hear. Because no one asked them, basically. Here's how that happened. I had a song that I wrote because I hurt my back, and it's about how hard it is to believe that you're ever going to feel better when you don't feel well. And there's a biblical reference in it. And after I sang it one night, a woman came up to me and she said, "You ought to read this book I just read. It's all about women in the Bible. It's called Women in the Bible," which, yeah, it sounds pretty silly, but it made it really easy to find. So I went and looked for it, and I read it, and I probably did not get out of it what she was recommending it to me for, because the thing I noticed was how many people there were in the Bible, how many women in particular there were in the Bible, who never got to say anything. You don't find out anything about them sometimes not even their name. And what triggered it was there was one woman who was fairly important in my book. Her name, well, I'll get to that in a minute. But she was responsible for 8 of the 12 tribes of Israel. Those were her sons that founded those tribes. And you only find out about her name and the fact that she had either weak or cow-like eyes, depending on what translation you read. And I'm not actually sure what it says in Hebrew in the original, but that seemed blatantly unfair to me. So I have kind of an inflated sense of responsibility. So I took the responsibility of making sure you knew more about her. And this is the song I wrote in her honor. As far back as I remember, I was always Rachel's sister. Sometimes I think that started before she was even born. She was lively, she was clever, and everybody loved her. And when the men came looking, it was Rachel they looked for, not me. I was Rachel's sister. Jacob saw her fetching water, asked if she was Laban's daughter, and she ran home to let us know, to make room for one more. I fell in love that night at dinner. He never saw for watching her, and when the meal was over, it was Rachel he asked for, not me. Rachel's sister. This is the story as it is written, but those were the lives we were living. Here is the truth, not the one that others told. It's the one that I know. I am Rachel's sister. They said Jacob was the trickster, but my father brought me forward on Rachel's wedding day, draped in veils upon his arm. But then Jacob worked the harder, and for Rachel too he bartered. Still, I thought I'd win him when each new son was born. To me, Rachel's sister. But every night I'd hear her whisper, give me sons like you gave my sister, and prove that you love me. Prove you love me more. So then one night he did it, and little Joseph was his favorite. But Rachel died in childbirth when her second son was born, leaving me Rachel's sister. This is the story as it is written, but those were the lives we were living. Here is the truth, not the one that others told. It's the one that I know. I am Rachel's sister. Every now and then I wonder, is he still thinking of her? Though I'm the one that keeps him warm when the nights are cold. Did she love him as I love him, or did she just love to win? But she is blessed memory, so I will never know. I am only Rachel's sister. That is the story as it is written. But those were the lives we were given. Here is the truth, not the one the old men told. It's the one that I know. I am Rachel's sister, and it can only be told by Rachel's sister. That's still my favorite one on the whole album. But there are more of those, and after maybe 4 or 5 more of those, it was getting fairly dark and gloomy at my house. And so I decided I needed something lighthearted, funny if possible. Well, I don't know if you've ever gone looking for humor in the Bible, but I could tell you as the voice of experience, it is not there. You have to bring it yourself if you want some funny. So I picked out a character or two, and I can sort of see the chat, and thank you for the applause. I do appreciate it. And among the characters, one of them, I'm sorry to say I have to thank Bill Cosby for, because that was a really good idea he had. Except I told it from the wife's point of view, because I'm funny that way. But there was another character that I picked out that actually the song turned out to be one of my favorites of this style. And here it is. Lest you think they're all dark. You ask if I am enjoying my place, dear mama, as Solomon's latest wife. Yeah, it's got its moments. What can I say? It's a life. Oh, right now, I'm his darling, and I'm calling that a plus. Though the other wives say his attentions will fade when a new face inspires his lust. That's why there's so many of us. No, Mom, he doesn't sing like his father did. At least not when he's with me. But he's built a beautiful temple, Mama, and he writes decent poetry. Oh, he's a glorious king, to be sure, and masterful in the boudoir. And you might think that's all he is good for. But really, he's pretty smart. Just last week, 2 women quarreled about a baby they both claimed. When he offered to cut the child in 2, we all thought he'd gone insane. But it sure got that knot untangled. So, if he doesn't sing like his father did, he's still all right with us, 'cause he's built a beautiful temple, Mama, and his poetry makes us blush. Well, Mom, I gotta go now. I'll try to write more later, 'cause it seems there's a queen needs my room for a bit. And they say that she's wealthy and oh so bewitching. And the king's so excited he's positively twitching. I think I just became second rate. But oddly enough, I don't hate her, 'cause he doesn't sing like his father did. And I'm bored with his poetry. Though he's built a beautiful temple, Mama, she can have him, it's okay with me. So, all of the albums that I mentioned and a bunch of other things are on my website. It's janseides.com. And I hope you'll go visit and maybe partake of some. And if you want to learn the song, the lyrics are there too. I'm going to put this down for a moment. I have a keyboard in front of me. I also have one behind me, and occasionally in some songs I'll reach behind me and hit the note that's not on this keyboard, but that's not the case today. I don't have any other songs like this one. In fact, while I was writing it, one of my daughters came out and she said, "What is that?" And I just looked at her and I said, "I don't know." So here it is. It's a one-off. I remember we went to a James Taylor concert at one point, and people were calling out the names of songs from the audience, and he was saying, "Well, I don't have that one, but I have this one. It's kind of like it. You know, they're all alike." Well, no, they're not. Where are all the Gretas and Marlenas? And all the Mae Wests, where are they? No one tells the boys, "Come up and see me sometime." That's all out of style nowadays. But I still long for old-time steamy romance in satin gowns and stockings with seams, and men that wear trench coats and fedora hats. I wish they'd bring that all back. 'Cause I wanna be a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. I wanna whistle like Bacall and have 'em all eating from my hand. They put me on a pedestal, competing for my glance. I wanna be a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. Though I am a liberated woman, sometimes I'd prefer to be a tease. And when I see those starlets with eyes come hither soft, I could pull that off, it seems to me. See? And men would buy me clothes and bring me jewelry and open doors and pull me out a seat, and then stand by politely until I'd sit, enjoy my sparkling wit, a little risque repartee with a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. I wanna be the party doll that upsets all their other plans. I know it isn't fashionable, but it's so elegant. I wanna be a femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. Dietrich and Davis, they had it made. Mansfield and Monroe, hey, where'd they all go? Well, the women we admire now in the movies are all doctors and lawyers and chiefs. They don't flutter their lashes or swing their hips. They don't pout their lips or sit on anyone's knee. And if they're in some older profession, they've all been reformed by Act 3. They've given up their cigarettes and champagne. I guess we've come a long way, but I sure miss the day of the femme fatale. I wanna be a vamp. I wanna give the boys the eye, call some guy my honey lamb. I'd have 'em all in a spell, I'd have 'em in a trance. If I was a femme fatale, I would be sensational. I wanna be a vamp. Still haven't gotten my wish. but I've gotten close. So, this is a love song I wrote for my husband who is listening in the other room. If I had it to do over, a mulligan for all of those mistakes, maybe I would take it slower and think about the reasons I should wait for that other shoe. But then I wouldn't be with you. If I had it to do over, a second chance to turn and walk away from all those careless promises and all the times my trust was betrayed, 'cause I didn't have a clue. But then I wouldn't be with you. You are the reason I still believe a guardian angel watches over me. So if I had it to do over, an opportunity that few receive, I could be lying here tonight, dreaming dreams that probably would never come true. So I wouldn't follow through, because then I wouldn't be with you. Like I said, he's in the other room listening. I should say something about him more than he's in the other room. He's the love of my life, among other things. And he's a sound engineer, and lately he's been working with a tango group, Quintango, who are quite good, and if they come your way, you should definitely make a space to go see them and hear them. You won't be sorry. The thing about tango is it's contagious, it's addictive. Anyway, the prompt for this song was to make a list, write a song that was a list. And between those two items, this was the result. First, make a list, all the qualities you missed on your previous attempts. Then make a plan at all the places where someone like that might frequent. Call all your friends, let them know you're on the mend from your last affair. Consult your horoscope, seize the moment and say a little prayer. And then you wait. You hurry up and wait. Be at the right place at the right time to meet your soulmate. You just wait. Never. You'll be entering the gates of love sublime. It's just a matter of patience and timing in the tango for one. yourself, pay attention to your health, learn a new dance. Exercise your brain, learn a new language, change your circumstance. Call all your friends, let them know you're on the mend from your last affair. Get your fortune told, buy new clothes. You're already there. Still you wait, you hurry up and wait. Be at the right place at the right time to meet your soulmate. You just wait. You'll be entering the gates of love sublime. It's just a matter of patience and timing in the tango for one. Sooner or later, you're gonna notice a change. Your own company ain't half as bad as they claim, and it's not a cause for shame. You can't afford to wait. You can hurry up and wait. At the right place, at the right time, you'll meet your soulmate. You just wait. You'll be entering the gates of love sublime. It's a matter of patience and timing in the tango for one. 'Cause it's all about patience and timing in the tango for one. We've all had that experience, right? Maybe some of us more than others. I know I went through a lot of frogs. Except now my take on that is the problem was they were somebody else's Prince Charming, not mine. At one point in my lengthy now history, somebody said to me, well, if you're serious about your music, you should be either in New York or Nashville or Los Angeles. And I had moved here from New York, so that wasn't going to work. I can't do another winter like those. I can do winters like this. You know, we still have seasons. There's not a whole lot of transition between them. Anyway, I took him up on the LA thing, and I moved to LA, and I have to say, on my arrival, I knew I had just made a monumental mistake. Because when I went to check it out in January, the air was clear, everything was lovely. I thought, this isn't half as bad as people keep trying to tell me it is. So I packed up everything and I moved in March. And by March, it was 90 degrees and the smog was so thick that you couldn't see the mountains 10 miles away. But too late, spent all the money. So I wrote myself pep talks. Because there are plenty of pep talks around, I know there are. But there aren't enough to go with living in LA, so I wrote this one. This is my favorite of the batch. When those gray skies seem to be falling in, when the hard times get harder and the good times grow thin, don't let that old rocky road rock you off of your feet. One day you'll be dancing down easy street. You gotta hold on, hold on. 'Cause one day you'll have it all. If you hold on, One day you'll be dancing down Easy Street. Well, too many times your tears roll by. You've been down too many roads paved with too many lies and promises dripping gold. Honey sweet, one day you'd be dancing down Easy Street. You gotta hold on, 'cause one day you'll have it all. If you hold on, one day you'll be dancing down Easy Street. Well, somewhere there's rainbows, they're shining in the sky. And those dollar bills, well, they float on down before your eyes. And the last piece of your puzzle will make your life complete. One day you'll be dancing down Easy Street. So you gotta hold on, 'cause one day you'll have it all. If you hold on, one day you'll be dancing down Easy Street. One day you'll be dancing down Easy Street. So when I came back to Austin, which I did 5 years later, I had some friends who had been they had finally built the house in the country that they'd been talking about since I met them. And they live in a little city. Well, now it is. Back then it was just pretty much a village. They live outside of it. It's called Dripping Springs. And Dripping Springs was growing. So they built their house, but they had a driveway that was mostly lime and it was mostly lime. It's called caliche. And when it gets wet, when it's raining, it gets real slick. So every time it rained, they couldn't get down their driveway, which was a pretty steep slope down to the house. And so they paved it. And then the city of Dripping Springs expanded, and they got annexed. And they went around, the city did, they went around to all the paved driveways and turned them into streets with one house on them and named them. And their street got named Easy Street. I've been told that was their idea. I'm not sure because when we talked about it after they put the sign up, after they put the sign up, actually, my friend told me that their street sign got stolen about 3 times a month. So it might not have been the best possible choice. So, like I was saying, I really love writing from prompts. And the prompt was Tiger, because it was the year of the tiger. And this song proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that I am unable to do what I think is expected of me. So it was the year of the tiger, and that was the prompt. And I thought to myself, aha, they're expecting me to write something about the year of the tiger, and I'm not going to do it. And this was the result. I hear you cheering for me out there. I know I'm elegant and rare, and I think I am showing admirable restraint. Yes, I am. Fancy them there, his name is Roy. He's treating me like I'm some kind of toy, and I'm being practically a saint. See how his partner struts and prances? That Siegfried thinks he's quite the dancer, but really, I'm the star of this show, as I know you know. But I guess I've got it good. 3 squares and a roof, so I guess I can put up with that fool and his stupid megaphone. But sometimes I dream of India, and I'm lying in the sun beside the sea. Life was harder then, it was harder then. But I was free. What's that fool Roy doing now? I think he's trying to get me to growl and give these folks a thrill for their applause, just because. I think I'll give him a little slap, just an eensy teensy little love tap, not enough to hurt, just to remind him who's boss. Because last night I dreamed of India, and I was lying in the sun beside the sea. Life was harder then, it was harder then. But I was free. I didn't mean to hurt him, but he's such a little squirt. But when the crowd began to scream, well, it was totally worth it, because last night I dreamed of India. There I was, beside the sea. Life was harder then, it was harder then. Yeah, so I was free. There bears almost no relation to the Year of the Tiger. Let's see. So, I had this conversation. In fact, I had 3 of them one afternoon. And in all 3 of them, well, there was a reason for this, and I'm sure that you saw the Northern Lights when they were in the sky during the summer, when we had all that sunstorm activity. And there was actually a sort of vision of the Northern Lights here in Texas. It's just the clouds were faintly pinkish, and if you took a picture of them from your phone, they looked even pinkyish-er. But I gather up in New Jersey and places like that there were serious Northern Lights. Well, we were talking about them, and for the 3rd time in an afternoon, somebody brought up the Northern Lights. And I thought, gosh, maybe I'm supposed to write a song about this. So I did. Magnetic fields fight their way across the sky and show us brilliant colors, the Northern Lights, and we are all reminded the beauty we have here. How fortunate we are to have protective atmosphere. And the home we share, the northern lights remind us, has water and air. The northern lights remind us there's no guarantee, there's no guarantee. The northern lights remind us. The northern lights remind us. One of the things I learned when I was researching this song was that Mars at one time had an atmosphere. And of course, we don't know if it had life like life on Earth, but it doesn't have an atmosphere anymore. And I took that as, that's possible. Celestial looms weave the darkness into lights that dance above the planet to dazzle human eyes, and we are all reminded of vast eternity, how fortunate we are, however briefly, just to be. And the home we share, the northern lights remind us, has water and air. The northern lights remind us there's no guarantee, there's no guarantee. The northern lights remind us. The northern lights remind us. It's a beautiful and deadly universe, and everything that we hold dear depends on our next choice. For though we send our rockets up to land on planet Mars, or lie back on the hillside to admire the stars, the northern lights remind us with their shimmering towers how fortunate we are to have this earth of ours. And the home we share, the northern lights remind us, has water and air. The northern lights remind us that there's no guarantee, there's no guarantee. The northern lights remind us. The northern lights remind us. The northern lights remind us. So in this time of uncertainty, we still have to take care of our planet. I have a new one I want to do for you, and it involves tuning up a little differently. So, while I do that, I'm going to tell you the story of how this song got born. And I'm going to try not to get too strident in my opinion. But I have to say, after that last election, I was speechless. And I knew I should write it because, aside from everything else, that's therapeutic. But I couldn't think of a single thing to say, because everything I thought of to say, first of all, would just make everyone around me feel worse. And secondly, it was too hard to write from that space. But then I ran across something on Facebook. The person that a member of my family had just married is in transition. And that person, their parents were at the wedding and were completely unsupportive, to the point where it was, it left her in agony, and she expressed that on Facebook. And one of the people that is related to the other side of that person in my family's family wrote back and said, "You're not without family. You have us. You can lean on us." And I thought, yeah, that's the song I want to write. So I did. My niece's wife thinks nobody knows the agony they're going through. People say that's the life they chose, and their sort of love cannot be true. They've cut their ties with family, lost some lifelong friends. Now they think that in their corner is only them. My best friend's child thinks nobody shares the burden she carries in the world. People tell her that's her cross to bear, 'cause she's got 2 strikes, black and girl. They tell her that's just the way it is. She should give it up, move on. Now she thinks she needs an army, but she sees none. And maybe you feel the same. Maybe you think folks are just gaming you. Maybe they don't care as much as they say they do, as you want them to. But we can lean on the ones who love us. There's gonna be some that we can trust, and we can lean on the ones that love us. And you can lean on me. Oh, you can lean on me. My brother's wife lies awake all night, wondering what trouble they might face. 'Cause her parents crossed that borderline when they brought their children to the States. She's anxious for her family, not sure who's her friend. Now she thinks she better be careful, 'cause so much depends. And maybe you feel the same. Maybe you think folks are just gaming you. Maybe they don't care as much as they say they do, as you need them to. But we can lean on the ones that love us, 'cause there's gonna be some that we can trust, and we can lean on the ones that love us. And you can lean on me. Oh, you can. We can lean on the ones that love us. There's gotta be some that we can trust, so we must lean on the ones that love us. and you can lean on me. I will lean on you too. You can lean on me. So, I'm going to do one more for you because I see I am actually out of time. It'll just take me a second to get back to where I need to be for this next song. This song is based on the Japanese art of kintsugi, which I watched a video the other night. And for those who don't know what that is, if you have a ceramics, a bowl or a vase, something like that, and it breaks, you put it back together again with gold-infused glue. And by the time you're finished with it, it's even more beautiful than it was before it broke, which is always nice. But what I learned from this video was that the kintsugi artist starts with a whole piece of pottery and breaks it on purpose so that they can do this too. So coupled with that was Leonard Cohen's statement that there's a crack in everything, that's how the light gets in. Because my idea was it's also how the light gets out. This one is for you. Thank you so much for being here. And listening. And my name again is Jan Seides, and you can find me at janseides.com. And most of this music is up there. Oh, and there's also, before I go on, there's also jewelry there, like this piece. It's made by Kathy Miller of Love and Life Art, out of my guitar strings and a few semi-precious stones. So go have a look at that too. Every lesson you learned is gold. Every scar where you healed is strong. You may once or twice have been broken, but you've done nothing wrong. Every outcome that didn't match all those plans and all those dreams, all that beauty you think you lack, is ablaze for all to see. 'Cause your light shines through, your light shines through. It's what makes you you. And the cracks are there, so your light shines. Your light shines. All the obstacles in your path, all the trials you rose above, all those faults that you think you have, they are why you are loved. 'Cause your light shines through, your light shines through. It's what makes you you. And the cracks are there, so your light shines. Your light shines. It's true, you are not perfect, but no one is perfect. And that matters so much less than you'd expect. 'Cause your light shines through, your light shines through. It's what makes you you. And the cracks are there, so your light shines. Your light shines. Your light shines through. Your light shines through. It's what makes you you. And the cracks are there, so your light shines. Your light shines through. you. Good night. It's been a pleasure singing for you.